Good afternoon. This is Brad Spates with Guide Technologies. And first of all, thank you for attending our Infor CRM webinar for CSI customers. I'm excited to announce that SyncSite and Guide Technologies have formed a partnership to really introduce Infor CRM to our Guide customers and really show them what CRM can do for them and how it works with our CSI solution. Why SyncSite and Guide? I think we have a lot in common. We're both been in business for over 20 years selling Infor solutions. We're both gold Infor channel partners. We're really both leading channel partners in our area of interest, SyncSite from a CRM standpoint and Guide from an ERP standpoint. And both are really focused and strive for long-term customer success. I'm going to turn the webinar over to Nick Karyazis from SyncSite. Before I do that, just want to let everybody know that all the lines will be muted. So if you have questions, please use the question box for any questions that you may have. With that, Nick.
Hey, very good, Brad. Thank you very much for that introduction. You said my last name like we're family, so that's really good. But anyways, I'd like to thank everybody else for attending today and taking a little time out of your day during this time, and appreciate your attendance. I am going to flip on down here, just briefly discuss the agenda. We're going to talk a little bit just briefly about SyncSite. As Brad said, we're kind of the leaders in our respected disciplines, CRM and ERP. It's actually a great marriage to be together with Guide. We're also going to talk a little bit about what to expect from Infor CRM. Many of you have the CSI product or the CloudSuite Industrial or Sightline. Those products all integrate very well with Infor CRM. They also come with their little version of CRM Lite, and you're going to see today what the differentiators are on what I'll call Infor CRM versus the CRM Lite version that comes with the product. We're going to show a few integrations, little overviews and examples, and have a customer example at the end to talk about. With that, I'll kind of kick it on down here, and we'll talk a little bit about SyncSite. As Brad kind of said already, I'll reiterate, we've been in business over 20-something years, 26 years now, really focusing on the CRM side of the house and really focusing on integrations. We've been really strong in integration since our inception. A very clear consultative approach, just like Guide. We really get into the discovery with the customer and really try to focus on the solution and not pushing products and services just to sell. We are a very solutions-driven company, just as Guide is. A few of our customers here that you can recognize, some of the logos, obviously, some are very recognizable, very household names, Therma-Tru doors, hit promotional products, Chevron. A lot of these customers are actual Sightline customers too, or ERP customers too. Pressapart, Human Skill, Cornell Cookson, Crescore, ETS Lindgren, Great Plains, and I think that's it from a integration standpoint to ERP for Infor. But you can see we have a very wide range of industries served, and I think that is also a testimony to our partnership with our customers. We really get into the relationship and the longevity of the relationship and making our customers successful with automation products. And that starts from the ground up of understanding everybody's requirements. And as you can see here with all these different logos and different industries, they're very different across the board. Infor CRM is going to really enhance your holistic view of your customers. Let me explain what that means. Right now we have a lot of data stored in Infor ERPs. We have a lot of data stored on our own in Outlook. We have a lot of data in our inboxes, right? What we don't have is an aggregation of all that data to be shared across the enterprise. For example, today, if you were to go out and send an email, and you wanted to find out what was going on with the customer, you might go out and send an email to everybody at your organization that deals with that customer and say, has anybody talked to Press Apart lately? What's going on? And then you get flooded back with all the emails, and you have to aggregate the data and kind of piece together the pie, the puzzle, if you will, and put together all the pieces of the pie and come up with what we call the holistic view of the customer. With an integrated Infor CRM, you're going to take everything from a sales and marketing, a lead perspective, all the way through to the customer support side of things. So we like to call this, and it's been referred to many times in different sales strategy books, as cradle to the grave from a customer perspective. From the minute that they get introduced to us to the minute that we either part ways, either for one reason or another, but we manage the whole customer life cycle. In here in Infor CRM, we're going to have full mobile functionality. We're going to have full integration to Outlook. We're going to have our own little Outlook applet that you're going to see here a little bit later on in the presentation. Complete open API and customization capabilities, already out of the box integration to Sightline, CSI products. And something we have different than Salesforce is a flexibility of an on-premise or a cloud deployment. What does that mean? Well, right now, most of the systems you see out there are only in the cloud. They're only per user per month. We actually have the flexibility of putting our software on site. So if you don't want cloud solutions, we can actually meld ours with an on-site, on-premise Sightline deployment, or we can match very well in the cloud with a CSI deployment. And then on the other side of the licensing side, we have a mix of named and concurrent license in Infor CRM, very, very unique to Infor CRM. Most people, CRM companies, have named licenses. That means for, Fred, Mary, and John, who all use the system probably 10% of their day, they have to each have an individual license. Well, in the Infor CRM world, that means Fred, Mary, and John need one license. They can share one license because they're really not in there that often, and they can share one license to get in and out of the system when they need to. Okay, and of course, many of the research analysts consistently put Infor CRM in the top leaders for them. So some of the features here. When you first log into Infor CRM, you get this kind of informational dashboard. I like to call it the news feed, or if you will, notifications area, where it actually knows who I am by my login, and it's pushing data and information to me. Hey, these are your open orders. And by the way, this information is coming from Sightline, CSI, or CRM, or married together in a combination. So I could have order statuses, what is on back order, what shipped yesterday, what is due to ship today, activity management, who has made so many phone calls, who has sent so many emails. All this information is available for putting dashboard widgets and lists and notifications together on the welcome area when I get into the account dashboard of Infor CRM. That's the first screen I see when I log in. I can drill into any hyperlink and move on about my day from right here. Very, very easy to use and a nice flow. When you get into the entities of Infor CRM, whether it's accounts, contacts, opportunities, you're going to see two very distinct views. That first distinct view you're going to see here looks like an Excel spreadsheet, right? It has columns across, it has a list of stuff, and this could be a list of several hundred or thousands, or it could be a list of 8 records like we're looking at here today. The important part to take away from this is you see up top here, I can have a number of different lists and different sorts and different, groups that I have created previously that are dynamic. So I can have one that's my Chicago customers, I can have one that's my Florida customers, etc. When I drill into one of these accounts, I go into what's called a snapshot or a detail view. Now I'm looking at an actual company. You notice here I'm in Abbott Manufacturing. I got all the usual suspects here, name, address, phone number, type of account. And look down here. I actually have accounts receivable information, accounting information, over 30, 60, 90 AR. What is the AR total? What is the year-to-date sales, the previous year-to-date sales? What is the variance? This company is trending upward 9.8%. That means they're growing. Well, guess what? These fields are all in a database now that I can actually test on. So, for example, I can actually set up a group that to appear on my welcome area on my data flow when you first log in, and it'll actually say, hey, these are your accounts that are of negative growth. Maybe these need some attention. I can put those alerts and notifications together so that I actually put the data in front of my face when I log in. So list view and accounting or snapshot view or detail view, that's what we're looking at here. And again, this is the view from the web, but we can view this information, as you're going to see further in a presentation, from anytime, anywhere, from any device. Let's launch a poll.
All right, poll is launched. Give a minute here for people to put in their response. Okay, looks like we have all our answers. Let's close it out here. Let's see, it looks like 67% are not sure that having a CRM will mean more work for IT. What do you think, Nick?
Well, I think not sure means they need an answer. And the reality is that, as you guys know at Guide, we can be there as much or as little for them. So let me give you a couple real world examples. We have done complete deployments with IT involvement and rolled everything out and had IT part of the project team every step of the way. We've done other deployments where they said our IT is too bogged down, or we don't have IT bandwidth. We only have a couple guys. How are we going to do this? Well, the good news is most of the time it's in the cloud, so we don't need any IT resources on machines because we have control of those machines. The design of the system usually takes place with business stakeholders. You know, in an accounting world, we actually talked to the financial accounting department and get everything we need. In the CRM world, we actually talk to the marketing specialists, the sales consultants, the sales reps, the customer support specialists, and we take that data and we build and design the system based on that. So the answer is, if you're not sure, hopefully you understand now that it can really be a mix of anything you want. And we've done it all the way from full IT involvement to no IT involvement. All right.
Great.
Let's move on. Remember, we talked about those two distinct views, the list view and the detail or the snapshot view. This is an opportunity list view. This allows me to look at opportunities in a list view. I can sort on estimated close date, the potential, the probability, and I have all sorts of filters over here on the right-hand side. So if I want to play if-then games, I have the ability to do that live in CRM. So data before that was hard to get access to, for example, quotes in ERP, if I wanted to have a list built for all my quotes for Nick that are over a certain amount, I would have to go to in the ERP system if I had access and actually do the query and pull those quotes. In the CRM system, I'm mirroring everything that's happening in ERP, so I can do that with a few touches on a few filter buttons here in opportunities in the list view. I can also export this if I'm used to working in Excel, and I can do a right click and export to Excel with the pivot table. Another neat functionality in Infor CRM is I have full mapping tools. I have the ability to say, hey, I'm going to Chicago and I'm going to be there on this day. Tell me the 10 customers or the top 20 customers around Chicago that I could potentially visit too, thus maximizing my expenses on a business trip or travel trip and maximizing my time, being able to stop at more than one place. Many times, I can't tell you, before using Infor CRM, I would get on a plane in Atlanta and I'd be coming home going, oh my God, I was right next to ALP and I didn't even stop by. Now I plan my day with Infor CRM before I travel, and I remember. It helps remind me who's in that area so that I can probably schedule another visit with another customer. Outlook integration here with X-bar sidebar, I'll call it. We are going to automatically log with whether it's Outlook or whether it's Gmail or whatever mail backend system you're using. Lotus Notes, if you're using that. We have a lot of European companies still on Lotus Notes. Inbound, outbound emails, calendar, all going to be integrated to whatever calendar you're using of those ones that I mentioned. And also, as a side application, we install in Outlook an X-bar view that actually tells me everything that's going on inside a CRM when I'm on a record. So right here, I'm on this person's record. And you notice over here, I actually have this person's details from CRM. And if I clicked on the history button here, it would actually give me a list of all the history activity. Never leaving Outlook and all the time seeing all the data in CRM. I can update quotes and opportunities right in Outlook that will automatically be updated in CRM. This is very, very unique to Infor CRM. Nobody has this, not even Microsoft, not even Salesforce has a comparable tool like this. Finally, data analytics here for sales. We're looking at true analytics with a deep dive and drill down capabilities. This is not the alerts and notifications dashboard that we showed you previously. This is a true analytics tool where I can click on things and lasso items and click on filters and actually get down to a set of details that actually matches my filtering on the graphics. True analytics here that we can actually deploy that'll actually look at your ERP data and your CRM data and marry the two together. Very powerful and something that can be deployed with Infor CRM. Here's another version of it for customer service tickets. This is telling me how many open tickets closed for this year. What are still in the process. Current open tickets are 77. And the little heat map here is giving me what type of issue or situation is going on with these customers. Let's launch another poll.
All right, poll is open. Okay, looks like we've got our votes in. Let's see. So we've got 67% of the people here believe that it takes 2 to 3 months to set up a CRM system, and the other percentage believes it takes 4 to 6 months. How long do you think it takes, Nick?
Well, I think they both have merit, and let me tell you, my approach is with the 67% because we at SyncSite will promote to our customers to take things in phases and to do a phase 1 implementation. Your basic blocking and tackling CRM with some integration to ERP is going to take about 2 to 3 months. Now, if you had another, say, entity or department that you wanted to make go live and turn on with CRM, like a lot of times phase 2 for us is warranties. Anybody who's doing a lot of manufacturing sometimes has some warranty process, and we take their warranty process and automate it in CRM, and that's a perfect example of a phase 2 that could take us into the 4 to 6 month range. But an average range, they are correct. 2 to 3 months for phase 1 is a great time frame to have a budget for. So I think we'll click on here and carry on. Remember, I told you you're going to see mobile. What you are looking at here is just an example on an iPhone, but don't get hung up on the device because Infor CRM is one of the only products. I think it's the only product now that is completely device agnostic. What does that mean? Well, we don't actually use an app. There's nothing to download from the App Store. We use what's called an HTML5 application. And if you're technical, what that means is it's written in code on a web page that actually adapts to the mobile browser that it's looking at because it knows what it's looking at, and then it repaginates to format the page to fit that browser. So the user experience, whether I'm using an Android phone, or an iPhone is completely the same. So from an IT perspective, it's much easier to support. And from a deployment strategy, it's a lot easier to deploy because I don't have to update a screen layout for a Droid phone or screen Android phone versus a screen layout for an Apple phone or tablet, etc. And you can see here all different types of information available here. I've got my account list here. I'm in an account here. I can see contacts, notes, history. We have this concept over here on the right-hand side called check-in. So if you visit accounts and you do 4, 5, 6 things every time, check-in is perfect for you. I click on a button and I go, hey, I talked about new products. And then I click in this area here and I hit the microphone button on my phone and I start texting my actual notes. And then I go in there and then I just hit the save button. So most of this is done with a swipe of your thumb on the phone and actually just talking into the phone. Very, very powerful. It demonstrates really well if you ever take a look at it. We also have an embedded marketing automation system. Most of the CRM tools out there now are evolving to have marketing automation included in their systems. Well, Infor CRM has something designed specifically in the Infor architecture called Inbox Guru. And it is a graphical drag and drop design tool where you can set up drip, nurture, or bullet campaigns to actually just send out to 1, 2, or 20 or 40,000 at a time email addresses. We track all the responses, the clicks, the opens, and the actual landing pages that they hit and the information that they fill out in CRM. So once again, I have all that data in the CRM database and I can now report on it and I can create alerts and notifications based on it. I even can track someone in a drip campaign, and as soon as they open a certain email, it'll send them to a different campaign that is specific about that email that they opened. So it's very intuitive and has built-in kind of AI along the way to modify the campaign at any time. Also have integration with some third-party applications. This one here that we're viewing is called Inside View. This is a data aggregation tool that actually says, hey, you're on here with this company. Well, here's their competitors down here. Are you doing business with their competitors? And it's actually doing this through Inside View, powered by Inside View, with inside of Infor CRM. It's a brilliant, brilliant integration that we actually helped complete this year. SyncSite did. And it is a great place to go mine for sales leads. If you're on the marketing side and you're like, hey, I got this company as my customer, who's like them? In addition to Inside View, we also have relationships with Sales Navigator. That's the LinkedIn version, and there's a few others as well. So we talked about the mobile access before. I'm going to bring all the accounting data like I showed you before into the palm of your hand. You're going to see sales orders, shipping, back orders. Everything you want to see is going to be on your mobile device. And now everybody will be working off of one database, no synchronization like the old days. It's one version of the truth, anytime, anywhere. All right, now talking about integration to CSI. You can see here on these screens, we're actually married to the CSI database, and we're bringing over all the details from the ERP database into CRM. I can see all the invoices, all the the unshipped product, the shipped product, everything you can see here in ERP is now showing here. Even an invoice aging tab where I can actually see things that are coming way past due. I can look at the detail of an invoice, look at the close-upness of an invoice. This could have the receivable lines, everything down here, anything against this invoice, all the details. All this is coming in CRM. Looks like ERP, but it's actually CRM. So I can actually empower other people in the company now that we didn't want to have access to ERP to do ERP and accounting related duties now without giving them keys to the kingdom to get into the accounting database. Very safe, very secure. One more poll.
All right.
Elsie?
Yep. Poll is launched. We were quick there. Let's see here. So 67% said no to getting the organization to use a CRM consistently is fairly easy. I would agree.
I would agree too, but it really means planning, right? Planning is everything here. So I think I spoke a little bit earlier about how we get all the business stakeholders involved, even users in the trenches, not just managers, but rep level that are in customer service and sales reps that are in the trenches. We try to take from a team of the really top performers, bring them into the project team to help get their input. So we've established an instant evangelist or cheerleader in the organization that has said, hey, I participated in this. This was my idea. This is a good idea. And B, we're actually not just taking examples from management, but we're actually hearing the people that are living, breathing the daily routine and applying the technology to help their day go better. So this is how we help boost user adoption, by getting users involved. More times than not, companies will come to us and say, yeah, we don't want their opinion. We just want to roll this out this way. And I'm like, whoa, that's a bad idea. And then once we discuss it with them, they actually see the value in getting some stakeholders from each department to participate, because our adoption rate increases by like 40% when we get the users to actually participate. 42%, I think, have a higher success for adoption if they actually participate in the planning process and not just in the training process. If they're just part of the training process, they weren't part of the design process. If they weren't part of the design process, they have a hard time sometimes accepting what's being put in front of them. All right, let's move on here. As we talked, you're going to be able to see all your sales orders right inside of CRM, and this is on the web, but they're going to be visible right in the mobile as well. All the account entities under one organization are going to be able to be viewed and looked at and edited if need be in CRM. Shipments also will show up in CRM, again, giving all that full featured accounting capabilities to a CRM user without exposing them to the ERP product. Detailed view of a shipment here. Let's talk about Human Scale, one of our CSI customers. Human Scale, you may or may not have heard of these guys. You may be sitting on their chairs right now, but they are like the Herman Miller of the office furniture. Their chairs and their ergo designed desks and furniture are very, very high end and appear in a lot of offices. I had never realized how many offices had their stuff to sell to them, and you understand their products, and then you're like, oh, that's a Human Scale chair. But we did an integration for them from their ERP, and we also did a business intelligence deployment. And I think, based on the quote here, Jennifer is very fond of us, and they really like working with us and really like having all that ERP data in their CRM system. That's our case study from Human Scale, the office furniture leaders, we would say. And I think that's it. Any questions? I guess we can funnel them in.
All right. Let me pull up the old questions here. Let's see what we have. You have a question around how do you handle training and support?
Training and support, and this is, I'm going to still give you the same answer I would give pre-COVID. Our training is best handled in person. We have much better results when we train someone in person, and we try to proctor 10 to 15 users in one class and train them on person, usually in a remote location where people are traveling to, or headquarters, or wherever is most convenient for those people. Support is handled ongoing through our organization here at SyncSite. We are a tier 1 support team for Infor CRM. That means that we have been authorized and certified to support our clients directly. That means when you become a client of Infor CRM through SyncSite, you will be calling our help desk here, and our internal people here will be picking up the phone, usually on 1 or 2 rings, and getting back to you quickly if you email them. It's a much different process than if you go to the Infor help desk. Our guys are much more seasoned, and we also understand the customized deployment of your system, which is very key in CRM. There's I would say 90+% of CRM systems deployed are customized, and we understand your customizations because most times we did them or participated in the deployment of them. So from a customer support standpoint, we handle it all directly.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. I have one. In your experience, what's the most challenging thing with an ERP CRM integration?
I would get this question all the time too. I think the most challenging thing with the CRM and ERP integration is not the out-of-the-box integration. It's the custom things that people want to see. They'll take it a step further and go, oh, well, we need these 4 fields that we add to our invoice. We need these to come over. So making sure that we do our due diligence during the discovery and planning phases of a CRM deployment, and understanding what they're requiring from a accounting integration really contributes to the success of the integration. And that's why we really try to flip over all the rocks early to make sure that what we're delivering aligns with the expectations of the client, and that they're getting what they assumed they'd be getting anyways. So that's one of the biggest challenges, is that there's a standard integration out of the box, and then everything after that is a little bit custom. So we have to define that going in. All right.
Okay. And then what makes this CRM different from other CRMs?
Well, there's the integration for one. There's a lot of people that think integration is easy, and they will tell you, and other competitors, Salesforce, et cetera, will tell you, oh, it's a piece of cake. We do it all the time. And then they get in there and they forgot how hard it was. So I think our standard integration, being able to deploy that quickly, is one thing. And I think the other thing, if you look at a lot of the CRMs today, and we'll start with the Salesforce and the other ones, Creatio and other Sugar, they have a very new kind of widgety look and feel that if you're not really used to it, you may not like it. What I mean is Infor CRM looks and feels like an application. I have my details in the middle. I have my tabs down below. I have my navigation bar on the left. I can put that in front of anybody, and they will be able to, if I say, hey, go find me an opportunity and go find the notes on the opportunity, probably with no training, everybody who sits down will be able to do that. I would challenge you to do that in other applications, because you'll be clicking around a long time to find where the notes are on certain things. So I think the layout, so the ease of use, the layout, and the fact that we already have, being an Infor product, we already have the integration, I would say 95% figured out. It's just a matter of the custom stuff.
Okay. We had a question come through from a customer who is using the CRM that comes with Infor CloudSuite Industrial, and they're wondering, so this is a separate connection, and what are the main differences between Infor CRM and the CRM module that is part of CSI? Yeah,
great question. So the Infor CRM, iCRM as they call it, I think, in CSI, is really an electronic Rolodex with some note-taking capabilities and being able to associate with some things in the database. It has no marketing capabilities. It has no opportunity management capabilities. It has no issue resolution, customer support capabilities. Everything is done very rudimentary around notes in the system. So when you take what you get out of the box, you're really getting an electronic Rolodex with some specific note-taking capabilities. And then you can't even lay that down to a CRM system that has, sales, marketing, automation, customer support and service, all that already built into a true CRM system is really the big difference. And the mobile capabilities, I mean, I think that speaks for itself. I don't really have any mobile capabilities at all in iCRM.
Okay. And I think we touched upon it a little, but what are the reporting capabilities within Infor CRM? And are there any today, any analytics pieces, or is that on the roadmap?
No, there's analytics today that you can get. There's an additional cost for the deep dive analytics. We have banded, pixel reports, pixel perfect reports that come through, Crystal and other products. So right now we can deliver any type of, columnized standard banded reports and analytics that you can dream up. So anything you can think of, we could probably deliver to you.
Great. Okay, well, I am not seeing any other questions come through. I think with that, we can wrap it up. This session will be recorded, and the recording will be sent out to you later today. Nick, any final words?
No, again, I'd just like to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy day just to stop by and visit with us and get a little insight to Infor CRM. I'm sure if you have any deeper questions, my information's on the screen, but I encourage you to work through Elsa or Brad or someone at Guide to get in touch with us, and we'd love to have a conversation with you, and would love to do a private demo that makes sense to you, that's more geared around your industry.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nick, and thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay,
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.